Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your Friday Pick and Roll live stream for February 21st. We're back after another winning day, another 4-1 day on the channel here. We had the picks that went from the Wednesday game all the way through the Thursday slate, and it was a winning day. We recap all our days, but it's especially nice to recap days just like this one here. We have on the slate here winners on Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Pascal Siakam, and LaMelo Ball. We had a very close loss there on Franz Wagner, but in the end, it was a great day for the show. We're looking for another great day here today, so please make sure you hit the like button if you're ready for today's stream and you enjoy along the way. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel to keep up to date with the content that goes live weekday mornings when there are NBA games to discuss at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. That is on the Board YouTube channel presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook. We're using the FanDuel Sportsbook to go through the lines for today's slate. But we'll get started with that slate. We'll bring in my co-host here at PipsNBA. We'll start off with the Memphis Grizzlies away at the struggling Orlando Magic. We'll see if they look different on the other side of the All-Star break here, but Memphis favored by 3.5.
Yeah, I think Memphis covers this even though they played garbage last night.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I was surprised that in the end it ended up much closer than it was. It ended up minus 14, but it was minus 30 at some times. And yeah, awful game by their defense, their offense. Both sucked. So I do think they should have a huge edge over Orlando Magic. And Orlando Magic also played short-handed. Orlando Magic also played the last night, and the depth of Memphis Grizzlies is very, very, like I would say, like their seventh, their eighth best player will probably be like third best or fourth best on this Orlando Magic team. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's not even like a hot take. Like their eighth best player is like Luke Kennard, Santi Aldama, while third best player on Orlando Magic is probably Wendell Carter. Or I don't know, I don't know. Like they have like Kentucky KCP has been garbage this season. I don't know what's going on with him. I'll just show you on the screen his scoring. This is don't know how to even explain this. Just a second. KCP last couple of games. I'll just like this is how do you even explain this? Like he averaged
Wow.
5 points. Yeah. So I don't know. KCP is in big minutes. Cole Anthony, who absolute sucks, is in the big minutes. Wendell Carter is starting at the five for them. Not a good team at all. On the other side, healthy Memphis is coming to town after back-to-back game. Yeah, I do think Memphis should easily cover this. But
Right.
I think on the props wise, I don't think I have anything. It's back-to-back. It could be some uh, late scratches in this one. So yeah, no bets.
All right. No bets. We can move to the next game here on the slate. After the Memphis Orlando game, we have the New York Knicks away at the top of the standings, Cleveland Cavaliers. The Knicks, 8.5-point underdogs in this one. So tough matchup overall. The Cavaliers on either side of the break. They have won 5 games in a row. They had a 13-point win against the Nets yesterday. The Knicks still doing well themselves, mind you. Winners yesterday in overtime against the Chicago Bulls, but third in the Eastern Conference as of right now. Do you agree with the 8.5-point spread here?
Yeah, I do. Knicks looks awful last night, and going to overtime with the Bulls is terrible.
Yeah, not very good. They still won, but yeah, not very good there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Could have the bet in this one. Can you look the lines for the player for the points?
Let's see.
Yeah. So I don't know if we can make this official because it will move like rapidly. But I think Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points should be the play here.
Okay, Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points. It's minus 125 at FanDuel. That is the only 23.5 available. Yeah, this Go play it. It's gonna move.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if it sticks. Let's see if it sticks. Donovan Mitchell over 23 and a half minus 125. This is the only 23 and a half in market. Is there any 24 and a half number you would be able to play here? Do you want it to be 20?
Plus
Yeah.
100 and plus minus 105 should be good to go.
Okay.
But yeah, I do prefer like 23 and a half, of course. Minus 120.
Yeah, there it is. 24 and a half. Okay. Well, hopefully some of you got that. I mean, the fact it moved would give me confidence that some people did get it. You said minus 105 at 24 and a half you would take?
Yeah, minus 105, minus 103, minus 106
Okay.
should be
Uh
should be good.
it's 24 and a half minus 104 now. Is that okay to play?
I think yeah, minus 104 is still 25 plus also works
Okay.
for most of the sites.
25 plus minus 104. Okay. We'll do that. 25 plus minus 104.
Yep.
Okay. That's what we'll play. But I do see that some people in the chat did manage to snag the 23. So good work on that. But for the show, I can't really play that at 23 and a half. Anyways, got that one at FanDuel there.
Yeah. So just doing simple stuff, 30 to 40 minutes playing with Garland and Mobley against teams. Using this time like against position because it works actually for like the Knicks are allowing fourth most points to guards. And they allow the most points to pick and roll ball handlers. So I'm using that kind of filter. It's simple. And you can see that he's already sliding 14 out of 20, averaging 27.4 points. Anders mostly came when he shot poorly. Like he had game where he shot 5 from 23. When he's shooting 35 to 55%, like average some range that like his average 45% shooting this season. So I'm just setting it in the range between 35 and 55 to get out outliers. And then he averaged 28.9 points and is over in 11 out of 24. And he already played Knicks earlier this season and scored 25 points. So yeah, think this should be great. Great spot for Mitchell. As I said, more 35% of his points come from pick and roll ball handler. They are dead last ranked against pick and roll ball handlers.
Okay, so Donovan Mitchell, 25 plus, minus 104 in the end is what we will play. I see some people, quite a few people in the chat got the 23 and a half, so that's great. Other spots, there are minus 105s out there on this as well. You can't end up playing it at FanDuel. So shop around, see what's best available in your region for this one here. But we can move into the next game in just a moment. We'll give a word to our presenting sponsor here, the FanDuel Sportsbook. Thank you so much to FanDuel for making the pick and roll live stream possible for this season here. And when the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Whoever you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/board to join today or visit the link that's in the description wherever you're listening or watching this show. That's FanDuel.com/board, BOARD, for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. But must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text HOPE and Y in New York. We'll keep it moving down the rest of the slate here on the FanDuel screen. We've got next up the Milwaukee Bucks against the Washington Wizards. Milwaukee hit with a surprise absence for the next 25 games. Next 24 after takes. You already missed one, but Bobby Portis picked up a suspension for violating the NBA's anti-doping policy. I don't know exactly what it was. It seems like it was something like an accidental painkiller, which he was unaware. Or, anyways, it didn't appear that he was doing anything malicious, but you got to be sure of what's going on if you're an NBA player. Ends up missing the next 25 games. Giannis, I'm not sure if he's going to be back available for this one because he missed yesterday's game, but the spread here is 5.5 against the Wizards. And we've seen a lot of big spreads against the Wizards, so this feels kind of low, but it's all about the availability.
Yeah, so I'll reach for something in this one, and that's Damian Lillard over 24.5 points, because I'm pretty sure Giannis is not playing, and I do think Lillard could be out as well, or he could be limited, but they said he'll be limited, and then he played 33 minutes last night, and yeah, without Giannis, without Portis, without Middleton now, it's Damian Lillard time, so I do think he should be good for this one. Over 24.5, widely available at -115, -110.
Okay. Yeah.
We need
I
to,
see
we
a
need to take,
-111 will play, but -110 is
yeah,
out there as well.
yeah. So the numbers are crazy without Giannis. I'll just show. No Giannis. He's over this line in 6 out of 7, averaging 33.6 usage. Average usage goes from 25% to 33%. Without Giannis, only game he didn't cover was 7 from 19 against the Hawks. One field goal under this line. Now no Middleton. Additionally, no Portis. So the highest usage player, second highest usage player, and third highest usage player on the team are out for this game. So it's heavy onto Middleton. So when he has usage over 24% this season, he's over this line in 70% of the games. But when we exclude the best pick and roll defense and best defense against spot up, against isolation, so only the best teams against pick and roll ball handler, Nets and Knicks, who are best against isolation, those are the most and second most dominant play type for Damian. Uh, he is over this line in 24 out of 29 games, averaging 29.2 points. So yeah, 24 for Lillard against the Wizards without Giannis, without Chris, without Portis is a must bet. Even though I think he could be out, we need to take this. No harm, no foul if he is out.
So that's Damian Lillard over 24.5 points as the second play of the day here. And you have the belief that Giannis is not going to play, you said, right?
Yeah, maybe he does, but he played only I think 23 minutes last night. So and he was questionable for last night game. I doubt he plays back to back against
The Wizards.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, right?
The spread, I mean, the spread of 5.5 would that's the type of spread that makes you think Giannis is not playing. That's shaded towards him not playing.
23 minutes last night in a close game against the Clippers, and he was questionable to even suit up for that game. So now with back to back against the Wizards, like I honestly see him being out. And Lillard, even though the news came like both Giannis and Lillard will be limited, Lillard ended up playing 33 minutes and Giannis played 24 minutes.
Okay. So even if he does play, it's a minutes restriction, and you like to play whether or not Giannis is in.
Yeah, I mean, if Giannis playing for like 24 minutes, they will be staggered, and Lillard will play 24 minutes without him, and when they play together, Giannis will get even more attention. So Lillard could be in a easier spot.
All right, we can go to our next game up. We have the Miami Heat at Toronto playing my Raptors. Miami, new look team. Andrew Wiggins is going to be playing here, and 2.5 point spread in favor of the Heat. The Raptors on the other side of the All-Star break. I think like one of the most important players, maybe the most important player for this team is Jakob Pertl. They do not have any center depth whatsoever. He is still out on this side of the All-Star break. So we'll see how this one goes as a result. But how do you see this one going, Pips?
No Jacob, but Scotty, RJ, him quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah. And Mobo at the five looked decent the last couple of games. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, last couple of games. Earlier season, this was rough when Jacob was out, but Mobo is, think, figuring it out. It's tough to put him to start at the five, like undersized against almost everyone. Uh, we are going to bet against exactly that. We are going
Okay.
to buy him at the bio over 17.5 points. Uh, the trend is clear. Like even looking first glance at the stats, you can see that he's over in 8 straight, and it's not just that he is going over. The trend is for the usage as well. Like we can see, usage was for some period, like mid January, between like 17 and 22%, 21%, between 17 and 21%, all of these games. And then since game against the Orlando, he's been with 21 or higher per usage in all of these games. So if you take a look at on the season, he gets 21% or higher usage that he had in the last couple of games, and then he gets between 30 and 40 minutes. He averaged 20.5 points over this line in 70% of the games, and the matchup is so lately, since Jacob had issues, Jared Allen went over. Embiid scored 27, but it was just poor Embiid game. They doubled him like crazy, but without they didn't have size and still and missed some bunnies. Hartenstein 12, Zaki Day 13, Zubac, Towns, Vucevic, Okongwu all covered pretty easily. You guys allow the most free throws, allow 10th most spot up average to pick and roll man, and looking at the paint defense, you allow the 10th most paint points. That's fair. The bio scores most of his points. So also, you guys played a couple of days ago, and think at the bio ended up not a couple of days ago. Last time we played it was in December. The bio scored 21 points. Overall, I think this is a spot against undersized Mobo should be like logical sense. Like just going with the bio when he's in a good form against undersized five.
All right, so that is our third official play of the day. Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points against the Raptors. Three official plays already down for the show. If you guys are enjoying, please make sure you do hit that like button, give support to the channel, especially if you've not done so already. Make sure you're subscribed as well to keep up to date with all of our content. Next up, the Detroit Pistons against the San Antonio Spurs. 4.5 point spread in favor of the Pistons here. And the Spurs, a shock for the rest of the season, will be without Victor Wembanyama. That came really out of nowhere. He played in the All-Star game, and that is the final time he'll be playing all year. The Spurs, I mean, people talk about tanking here. The Spurs are 12th in the Western Conference, still have some ways to go to get into a playoff spot. They're looking at a pretty good draft class. Maybe that has played a part. But for Victor, I mean, he was the clear favorite for DPOY. I feel like he would have continued to play if he was able to. Regardless, they will be without him. How does this change the outlook on the Spurs for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it changes a lot. Like
Well, yeah, it
completely
changes a
different.
lot.
Yeah. So I don't know. Rough one. Honestly. Uh, they still have good players, so they can compete in every single game. Like last night, they won against the Suns, pretty comfortable win, the double-digit win. So it's not like they are, but the five position is like they started Bismarck Biombo. and played Sohan as like 25 minutes for like backup five. That's rough. Uh, yeah, I do. I'm. I have the message in the chat about Duran. Seems also logical to just take Duran over 12.5 points. Uh, Great form lately. He had terrible start to a season. Now finally catching his groove lately. And now going against Bismarck Biombo and Jeremy Sohan should be like a easy stuff for him. I do also expect some doubles sent to Cade. Now that they don't have Wemby, no more playing drop coverage at the five. So yeah, I expect some mismatch. Like it's not like Biombo and Sohan are, for especially Biombo. I don't think he can like play a lot of pick and roll defense, and then Sohan never almost like he plays backup five, but he's more of a perimeter defender than defending pick and roll as a big. So yeah,
So is Duran something you want to take on the show?
yeah, over 12.5 points.
All right, over 12.5 for Jalen Duran is going to be the fourth play here, loaded up for the show today. I'm going to see where we can find the best numbers for this one. Minus 120 available, minus 118 available in a couple spots, including FanDuel, minus 115 out there as well. So we'll be playing the minus 118 here at FanDuel. Jalen Duran over 12.5 points.
Yep. Uh, this is just 24 plus minutes over the last 12 games over the last month of the season, covering in 10 out of 12, averaging 15.4 points. We can see that the unders came against Orlando Magic, which is very difficult matchup, against Cleveland Cavaliers, where he scored 12 points and missed both free throws. So he was kind of on the way to cover even against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleared against Dallas, not a like average matchup, difficult matchup against the Houston, 16 points, and the rest is like 16 plus, 14 plus in 10 on 10 of these games. Lately against the Spurs, even though Wemby played, we had Rishan Holmes scoring 17 points, or Kongwu scoring 30 points, Ide 16, Bam Adebayo 30. So yeah, and now no Wemby out there. They allowed the second most against putback, 10th most against transition, and fifth most against pick and roll man. And they will be for the rest of the season probably bottom five in rim defense without Wemby, and 86% of his points come at the rim. So overall, smash spot for Jalen Duran. Also, I do agree like 24 and a half points in rebounds is also, but that's not widely available, so that's why I'm going with points. But 24 and a half points in rebounds is also a good bet.
So some good spots around on Jalen Duran. Question from Timmy asked, do you fear the Pistons go small ball at any point today? Take him out of some of his normal minutes?
Duran can play small ball. Like he's moving really well for a big. So I don't know. Like I don't think so. Think he had some secure minutes lately. Like it's not been the thing over the season, but last game he played 30 minutes in a blowout win against the Bulls. Against Hornets he got 31. Then he had 23 minutes, but that was 40-point blowout, so he was on pace to play 30 in that one as well. Against 76ers, he was in foul trouble. Against the Cleveland Cavaliers again, that's the thing. He can always be in foul trouble, but when he's not in foul trouble, he's been playing 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 31, 30, 29, 30. So like if you do like 28 plus minutes for the entire season, he's still covering this, even though he had terrible start to a season. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him to early this season. He I just read some numbers for him. I just looked it before the show. Uh, First 2 months of the season, he averaged 8 points a game. December 10 points a game. January 12 points a game, and then in February 14. So he increased every month by 2 points, 8, then 10, then 12, then 14. So he is kind of going up, improving, and Yeah, I do think with minutes over 24 and 25, no way be like just a logical like matchup wise. Even data looks great for him last 12 games, but overall like matchup stuff, he should be able to score here.
So there we have it on the fourth official pick of the day. The next game we have up to show you is the New Orleans Pelicans away at the Mavericks. Mavericks have they felt the wrath of the injury bug for sure, especially to their entire center rotation. So they're looking for scraps really to try and rectify the situation at the moment. But even still, 5.5 point favorites against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Mavericks have also won a couple games in a row heading into the All-Star breaks. We'll see if they can continue that, and they really should. They really should against this Pelicans team.
Yep. Yep. No, that's it.
Anything from you for this game?
Nah, I think we are good.
All right, we are good on Dallas, New Orleans. Next game up, 3 to go. We have your Rockets are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Rockets are favored by 3.5 points. Been a tough stretch for the Rockets as of late. They did not go into the All-Star break in great form. They'd lost 7 out of 10 going into that break. So I think the break came at a pretty good time for this team. How do you see them doing here as 3.5 point favorites?
Yeah, injuries. It's just injuries, and it's tough. With like Jabari was out, Fred Van Fleet was out, Shengun was out. Like that's we are short-handed, and when we get some injuries, it's really tough to to win games.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's the thing in this one. So yeah,
Nothing betting
looking back,
wise.
yeah, I'm looking into Anthony Edwards. Last time they played, he scored 41 points. Earlier this season, he also covered against the Houston Rockets. Uh, I'm just looking like 30 plus minutes against teams who are. Houston Rockets allow second most to ball handlers, and they just want the best guys to like score in tough matchups. Steph Curry, I don't know, Kyrie. No, not many of these guys played against Houston Rockets lately. Like Maxi put 39, but that was back in November. Yeah, so just thinking about playing Anthony Edwards over because no Randall for this team, no Dante DiVincenzo. So most of the usage is down to Anthony Edwards making up points. But yeah, I don't know. We'll stay away for now.
All right, so we'll stay away from this game here. A couple more to go through before we get to any questions and any bets that you guys have today. Next up, OKC, 15-point favorites away at Utah. Uh, yeah, they just keep winning. This is a tough team to stop. They're 44-10. Well, I say that they actually lost their game heading into the All-Star break, but yes, they're winning a lot of games here, and they should roll the Jazz for sure in this one.
Yep. I sent you the bet from this game before the show. You can check the line now. It moved to 15 and a half. I got it at 13 and a half.
Yeah, can't play
Uh,
that.
yeah, Chet Holmgren opened at 13 and a half on I think 5 books. I got down on 3. One of the I would say one of the bigger bets I had on the player points this season. Uh, he played 30 minutes last 2 games, uh, and so he's kind of out of minute restriction. And he had All Star break in between, and now he's coming back. I think ready to roll. He averaged 17 points per 30 minutes in his career. So I don't know why is it at 13 and a half. 15 and a half makes sense because I think it would be higher if this wasn't like a 15-point spread. But they shown kind of like they lost to the Wolves by 15. Uh, they were close to losing against Miami and they ended up winning by 14, but they were down by 10, 15 entire game. Uh, I think I watched the game against the Raptors. You guys also were close up to late, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
like it never got out of hand, but OKC were
yeah,
pretty comfortable.
yeah, and you guys and they played. Just a second, they played Utah Jazz at 23rd of January. I watched that game, and it was really close up there, and ended up Thunder winning by 9 points, while Shea scored 54 in that game. Of course, no Chet Holmgren, and that was huge for them. But now they are on the road. Utah Jazz kind of have some health out there. We just went to the overtime against the Clippers. They be blown out the Lakers. Played overtime against Suns. Went lost by one against Pacers. Won against Orlando. Like with health, they've been kind of in the games lately. I don't expect them to win this game, of course, but I do think they can stay in. They can stay in. Like Lowry, Markkanen, Clarkson, Collins, Walker Kessler. It's not like one of the worst teams in the league, I think. So on the road, OKC, yeah, I do think I feel good about my Ted Holmgren bet in this one. But now how it looks, we
Yeah,
want
it's too far gone, I think, at this point, 15 and a half.
15 and a half. Probably be what I will put this one.
So that'd be the fair price. So not worth betting.
Yeah.
Um, last game up, then we can move on. Is the Golden State Warriors against Sacramento Kings? A California battle here. Kings +2 away from home. Obviously, have been playing better basketball lately, but still ninth in the West. The Warriors looking to improve on their 10th place position, especially after the Jimmy Butler acquisition. Do you have any thoughts on this game here to end off the slate?
Not much. My favorite play moved, so can't do much on this one. My favorite play was DeMar DeRozan over 19.5 points. Not up there anymore. At least not at any good price. I can see minus 150. Yeah, that's unplayable. So yeah, no bets. We are good with. I think we have 4
We
bets.
do.
So yeah, I think that's good enough for.
All right. Yep. The 4 plays. And we'll go through the questions from the chat here. Good friend Chillionaire asked about Rockets rotations. Does Eamon Thompson go back to the bench if Jabari Smith comes back and starts? Curious for sixth man of the award potential.
I honestly have no idea what they're going to do. I'm interested in that as well. As a fan, I think that will be a terrible idea.
to
But
uh,
I can to
to
bench
bench
Amy
Eamon
Thompson.
Thompson.
Yeah, but he could be benched. So I don't know. It's
Right.
tough. So far they played 52 games. He played 52 games and he started 25. So if he moves to the bench, he is eligible to win uh, six man, and I think he will be favored if he is eligible. So yeah,
Uh, next up, yeah, tough one to call there. I hope I hope he doesn't go to the bench because that hurts the DeAndre Hunter potential because Eamon Thompson has been so
yeah.
good this year. Your friend James asked about Mavericks at -5.5 on the spread, -108. Would you lean in that direction as well?
No rim protection against Zion. I don't know. Zion when he played this season, he was unbelievable. Like he was great, and they still have Alvarado, who is like decent backup point guard. He's now starting, but they have CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy. Like it's not like team that can't win against Mavericks who are without like 4 entire front court depth. So if you have PJ Washington at the 5 defending Zion, that's tough. So I do think Mouse winning, but covering 5.5, I think that's fair. That's fair price.
Okay.
Fair line. Yeah.
Fair line there on the Mavericks, so maybe not an edge worth playing. We have a question on Bear Commander Go Bears asking about Stephon Castle rebounds. Had 10 last night, getting 20 plus minutes with no Wemby. Questioned if the over 3.5 rebounds, heavy juice at -146 is worth taking, but also presents some ladder opportunities. 6 plus at 290, 8 plus at plus 900.
Yeah, I don't know honestly. Like he had 10 rebounds and 10 rebounding chances. So I don't know. I think that's inflated a ton, but could get 5. So sure.
Next up, we have Jelko asking about Zion over 23.5 points against the Mavericks, saying 3 weeks ago he had 29 against them. I feel like Dallas was a bit of a different team at the time, but anyways, I guess
I
no
yeah
bigs.
yeah. I think that the fair it's fair because now they can only be worse.
Yeah, it's fair. You're right.
Yeah. So he's limited to 28 minutes a night, so that's the thing. But he could score there. Because as we said, no rim protection. So FanDuel and other books have 24 and a half juiced for over. So you have a good price there. My yeah.
Last question from RW fan. Ask about the Sixers potentially pulling the plug on Embiid this season, looking to fade the Sixers down the stretch. So the Sixers right now in the East, they are 11th in the East. They are 1.5 games back of the final play-in tournament position. That spot is occupied by the Bulls, who are not very good. The Sixers aren't very good either. They've lost 6 games in a row now. They are playing a couple of easier games in a row now. Uh, I'm not sure what the motivation for this team is, but their own pick is top 6 protected going to the Thunder. I don't think they can be bad enough to get that pick, at least have confidence in getting that pick. So I don't know. I would still think that they'd want to get into the play-in tournament, but what do you think, Pips?
I do think they could, but they suck. So I don't know.
Okay. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on
So
Embiid? Them sitting Embiid the rest of the year?
I will hate that. I have him on my fantasy. Uh, yeah. I have yeah. Don't
uh,
know. I don't think that's how Nick Nurse does stuff.
Yeah, I don't know because he was the coach when the Raptors were in Tampa and they tanked that year. So he's been a part of a very successful tank previously. So I'm not sure. I can't give us a proper answer for this question.
Yeah, same.
It is very interesting to see if they do go in that direction without their own pick because it goes to OKC. Okay, extra one here from Jonathan Keyshawn George over 11.5 points plus assists. If you send in bets, please send them with a price so I don't have to go check, but I will go check for this one here.
Yeah,
Um,
I looked into this. I was between George and Bob Carrington. I do think Bucks are kind of
minus 110.
make more. I do think like Bob Carrington is a better one suited for going against drop coverage because he has mid range game, and honestly, Bucks don't care about stopping Bob Carrington in mid range. But yeah, Middleton being back and Smart, I think both are playing tonight. They are free. They are cleared on the injury report to make a debut. I don't know how this affects their minutes. So yeah, I have no idea. Like yeah, the good thing is Brogdon is also out, so we could get Middleton just filling up minutes of Malcolm Brogdon with the same usage and the same way playing. Yeah, Brogdon played 24 minutes of the bench. I can see Middleton playing 24 minutes of the bench. So don't think much changes, but I'll wait for the first game to see what's going on.
Extra one from me because I'm curious. So on Tuesday, the Mavericks play the Lakers in what should be a pretty exciting game. Luka Doncic's point line is at 28.5 right now. In the last couple of games, his line has been at 24.5, and honestly, he hasn't played very well. Do you see this 28.5 moving down based on how he's played and how his lines have been set? Because we only have one more game until that Mavericks game. I know he's been hurt. I know he's going to be getting healthier day by day, but 20.5 feels like a lot for Doncic right now.
He does, but I will say we all know that.
Well, I know he's playing Dallas. He's going to want to show out, but like it's 4 points higher than what his line is being set at right now.
Yep. Let me just see some stuff. Usage wise, so yeah, his usage is the same he had at the Mavericks when he averaged 28 points.
Okay.
And just the efficiency. Luka Doncic is not shooting 35% from the field and 20% from three, even though he's not healthy. Yeah, so he averaged 21 field goal attempts per 36. Now he averaged 20.5 in 3 games with the Lakers. So last game he played 33 minutes, but he's probably going to play next game. He's going to play 34, and then game against Dallas, he's probably up to 36. So I think that line makes sense
Okay.
if he can, if he's playing his average game, like average efficiency, he averaged 28.5 per 36. So that's I think that's how they set the line actually.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just curious on that one because it felt a little off, but minutes going up.
Yeah, yeah. In the current shape, how he looks, that's too high. But he can get there. He will improve, and also he will increase his usage against Dallas. That's just expected.
All right. So fair price. Did not advocate for the under there. In fact,
Yeah.
said it was a fair price. Fair price on the 28.5, which means not an edge, which means not a bet. All right. That does it for the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Very much appreciate it. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, presented by FanDuel. Sign up, fanduel.com/board. Thank you to FanDuel for making the show possible this season. We found 3 of our 4 plays over there for today's show. We have Donovan Mitchell, 25+ points at -104. We have Damian Lillard over 24.5 points at -111. Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points at -115. And Jalen Duren over 12.5 points at -118. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support this week. We had a good day. Only 2 shows this week, but we had a good day on Wednesday with the Thursday slate, and hopefully a good day here today. We'll be back on Monday for more of the same here on Pick and Roll. We hope to see you there.